Don't accept the poo. A short story by Lynette Sloan. Lucy wandered through the woods. She gazed up at the tree canopy and blinked as the sun peeped through the leaves, creating a dappled pattern on the flowering shrubs and the grass at her feet. The young teen loved walking along the less trodden pathways, especially the ones that took her far from the roads, fences, and other people. It was unlikely that she would see anyone here, but nature was thriving. A rabbit ran across her pathway and darted under a bush. Birds sang in the treetops, and a fox took food into its den to feed its young. Moving to the countryside after her mother passed hadn't been her idea. Her father had taken a job at the local vet's. He said they both needed a new start. It had been hard at first. Lucy had to leave her friends and start at a new school. Walking in the woods eased her loneliness, as she hadn't made any new friends yet. Her father had warned her not to wander into the woods alone. Some years earlier, someone went missing there, and she was never found. Of course, he hadn't known about this when he accepted the job. Despite his concern for her safety, he forced a grin as he shared local folklore, detailing the terrifying existence of a creature that preyed on teenagers. Lucy had laughed. "I'm not a child. I'm a little old for silly stories." Today she walked a little further into the woods than usual. A patch of white and pink flowers grabbed her attention, and so she picked several to give her grandmother, who would be coming for dinner that evening. A movement up ahead caught her attention. She stood up straight and looked away from the flowers. Maybe it was a deer. The creature snorted. Lucy caught her breath and brought her hand up to her mouth. This was no deer. It looked like a large ape, but was much fatter, with a flat-topped head and large, out-of-proportion feet. The creature sat in the shadows around 5 meters in front of her, preening its long, thick brown fur. When it noticed her, it tilted its head to one side and snorted again, much the same way horses do. Lucy narrowed her eyes. She thought, "Whatever's that?" The creature answered her in a deep but gentle voice. "Give me some of those flowers and I'll tell you." Lucy frowned. It had read her mind. She didn't want to get too close to the creature, so she selected a pink and a white flower and tossed them at the creature's feet. "You can call me George." It reached out a hairy arm, picked up both flowers and nibbled the petals without taking its eyes off her. "Ooh, you can keep the white ones. They're not ripe. Chuck me a few more of those pink flowers." Lucy took 2 more flowers from her bunch and again tossed them at George's feet. He wiggled his large hairy toes as he nibbled the pink petals with delight, snorted again, and when he had finished eating, licked his lips with a long pink tongue. "I have something for you now." Lucy smiled. She loved getting presents. Her smile disappeared when the creature reached behind himself and took something from a pile in the shadows and flung it at her. Now it was her time to say, "Ew, what's that? Ew!" She wrinkled her nose at the smell. The item had struck her yellow t-shirt and left a mark. It was poo. The creature stretched, then crawled away into the undergrowth, calling back over its shoulder, "We can be friends. Visit me tomorrow." Lucy arrived home and had just enough time to change and put her t-shirt in the washing machine before her father parked his car on the road outside the house. The next day wasn't as warm or bright, and she had to pick her way along the rabbit trail in the dim light, taking care not to trip over the tree roots that reached out from the undergrowth. Sometimes the tree cover was even thicker, and she squinted her eyes to see more clearly. A lighter area up ahead contrasted with the part of the woodland where she stood. Lucy persisted and was soon standing in the small clearing where she had met George the previous day. She'd tried to determine his species on the computer at school, but couldn't find anything resembling him online. "George," she called, "are you here?" Two large eyes opened amongst the leafy undergrowth. Lucy jumped back a little. The creature's dark furry coat had blended into the shadows, and she hadn't seen him. He hobbled forward onto the pathway and sniffed her shoulder bag. "What have you got for me today?" His head only came up to her shoulders, and he seemed a lot less remarkable than he had before. "That was rude," she said. "You could have said hello first or asked how I am." He shrugged his shoulders and grunted. "You okay?" "Yes, thank you." So what have you got for me?" Lucy reached into her bag and brought out a sandwich. "I saved this for you. It's salad and jam." George snatched the sandwich out of Lucy's hand and stuffed it into his wide mouth and chewed. Saliva dripped from both corners, and the creature wiped it away with the back of a hand. He shuffled back into the shadows and sat under a large prickly bush, opened his mouth and belched. A deep belch which lasted around 20 seconds and echoed through the woodland. In fear, rabbits ran to their burrows and birds flew from the treetops, squawking. George reached behind his back. "I have something for you now. Catch!" Lucy did her best to catch her gift, but was glad she missed the throw. It was another lump of poo. Over the next few weeks, Lucy visited George many times. When she missed a day, he became bad-tempered and said rude words to her. Occasionally, he'd say something nice, just to keep her coming back to him. But as the days passed, these nice things became fewer and fewer and sounded less and less sincere. She always brought him a treat and even spent her pocket money on him, but all he gave her was abuse and poo. Lucy endured this because George was her only friend. She would give him gifts, and he gave her poo. She gave him compliments about his glossy coat and large brown eyes, but again he gave her poo. One day she even gave him a hug, but you guessed it. All she got was poo. She finally demanded, "Why are you like this?" "Don't come again. I don't need you anymore. I've got a new friend now. He brings me beer." Lucy ground her teeth and clenched her fists. "I won't. Just tell me why you've treated me so badly." "I'm a poo monster," he said. "What do you expect? All I can give you is poo. Oh, and abuse. I'm rather good at that." The moral of the story is, even if you are lonely, don't let anyone treat you like poo. There are many poo monsters in the world, and they take on many forms, none of them literally, of course. Your poo monster could be a close friend, a boss at work, or even your romantic partner. If you give them the best of you and all you get back is abuse and poo, leave, get out of the friendship or relationship, change job, or put in a complaint. Just don't accept the poo.